As we pan across the vibrant and lively cityscape of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, one might ask, have you ever wondered how the state of Rio de Janeiro came to be? Let's journey back to the pre-colonial era, a time when Rio was inhabited by indigenous people, each with their own unique cultures, languages, and traditions. These tribes, such as the Tupinamba and the Puri, thrived on the fertile land, utilizing its resources to shape their communities. Their histories are deeply intertwined with that of the state. The indigenous tribes were the first to call this land home, long before it was known as Rio de Janeiro. But then, in the 16th century, something changed. The vast and unknown lands of Brazil were about to receive their first European guests. Portuguese explorers, led by their insatiable thirst for discovery, found themselves on the shores of a land abundant with resources and potential. They began to establish colonies, not just as outposts for exploration, but as strategic footholds in the New World. One area stood out in particular, a beautiful bay surrounded by mountains and forests, a perfect natural harbor. The Portuguese, recognizing its potential, named it Rio de Janeiro, or January River, for the month they arrived. This land would become a pivotal point in their efforts to colonize and control the region. It served as a gateway for the Portuguese to expand their influence and to stake their claim in the face of competing European powers. The Portuguese had landed, setting the stage for the creation of Rio de Janeiro. But the Portuguese weren't the only ones interested in this land. Indeed, the mid-16th century saw the French making their own attempts to stake a claim. They were lured by the same rich resources and strategic location that had drawn the Portuguese. The French invasion was marked by an insatiable desire for control and domination. This wasn't a peaceful exploration, it was a fierce competition for power. The French established a colony they called France Antarctique in the Guanabara Bay area. This move sparked a series of conflicts, as the Portuguese were not about to relinquish their foothold. The tensions between these European powers were palpable, leading to a full-blown fight for control. The Portuguese, determined to protect their interests, launched a campaign to expel the French invaders. It was a turbulent time filled with battles and bloodshed, as both parties refused to back down. Despite the French's tenacious efforts, the Portuguese emerged victorious. The expulsion of the French was a significant turning point in the history of Rio de Janeiro. This was not just a military victory, but a symbolic one. It signified the Portuguese' resilience and determination to protect what they had claimed as theirs. With the French gone, the Portuguese were free to solidify their hold on the land. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in the creation of the state of Rio de Janeiro, as the Portuguese set out to shape their vision for this coveted territory. So how did this contested land become the state of Rio de Janeiro? From the colonial era, Rio de Janeiro was a place of strategic importance for the Portuguese. Its natural harbor made it an ideal location for a settlement, and in 1565 the city of Rio de Janeiro was officially founded. Over time, the city evolved into a bustling port, trading goods like sugar, gold, and diamonds. In the 18th century, the capital of the Portuguese Empire was transferred from Lisbon to Rio de Janeiro, marking a significant turning point. The city flourished, growing into a major cultural and economic hub. This growth was fueled by the coffee trade and later, the rubber industry. The state of Rio de Janeiro was officially established in 1891, with the city itself as its capital. This was a culmination of centuries of growth and transformation, shaped by the forces of colonization, commerce, and culture. And so, through a complex tapestry of history, the state of Rio de Janeiro was born. From indigenous tribes to Portuguese colonizers to French invaders, the land of Rio de Janeiro has seen it all. This vibrant state started as a land inhabited by indigenous tribes, their stories etched into the fabric of the land. Then came the Portuguese, bringing with them their culture, their language, and their aspirations for a new world. Their arrival marked a significant shift in the region's history, bringing profound changes that echo to this day. But the Portuguese were not the only ones who set their sights on this precious land. The French too sought to stake their claim, leading to a fierce battle for control. Yet, through it all, the land and its people persevered, evolving, growing, and eventually giving birth to the state we now know as Rio de Janeiro. The next time you think of Rio de Janeiro, remember the centuries of history that shaped it into the vibrant state it is today.